Hello, everyone. I have Chris Murray with me. He's my next guest. He is a single father coach. Welcome, Chris. I'm happy that you could join today. Can you please introduce yourself a little bit more and share where you are and what you do?
Hello. So thank you. I'm very grateful to be here. My name's Chris Murray, and as Gina says, I'm a single father coach. I teach emotional control and the importance of playfulness so that parents can have an enhanced and enriching bond with their child/children.
Sounds amazing. So how can I see this? How can people understand what that means? Why you do this?
So the real truth is because of two things actually. Going back to emotional control, um, when COVID came, there'll be many parents losing control with their children. And I would say like a lot of innocent children being shouted at and screamed at because, as parents, we were in a way losing our minds because of the stress from COVID. And now, obviously now we're in the cost of living and the economy. So I, what lended itself to me being a single father coach and teaching emotional control was to protect children from being screamed at and when the situation is not their fault. And B, offering insights of how we can develop emotional control. So, for example, and say if you're a man in particular, because we have testosterone, and if you're a single father, you really need to find ways where you can um, develop yourself emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. And to me, that involves self care. A lot of self care with, say, Epsom bath salts or lava novellants or exercise. So I drop these insights onto parents and I teach tools and strategies um, relating to that. And also regarding playfulness, because I think that like a lot of parents, they will be in a public place and they're scared to like be their authentic self with their child, right? And they're too scared about strangers' opinions, strangers who they will never see again ever in their life. But what could happen is if they were just to get out of that mindset, they could have so many golden moments, man, like on video or on picture. Example, I myself would like when my son was say 4 or 5, he would be a boy and be playing, making mess. And rather than I'll tell him off, but I'd also play with him and I'll probably video him in a restaurant saying Pizza Express. And I'll be like, okay, son, let's play together. And and yes, I got dirty looks from people. Like, I'm not supposed to behave that way, right? As a parent. But I thought, well, why not like create a moment together and create like a playful moment? Yeah, you still tell your sons that stop doing it, to stop making mess, but take a video, document it, and then as the child gets older, they will remember you. And when they remember you, like that, you can through the passage of time, you can say like, "Hey, son, you were 3 here," and when he's 5, you can look back, for example, and see this is a moment of playfulness, son or daughter. This is a playful moment we had, and that's going to show the child that you've always been there from the play perspective, thus increasing the bonds between you and your son or daughter. So
Wow. So and that's also because you're a single dad.
yes,
So you are judged also very easily because you are a single dad.
yes.
So you have to prove that you are a good dad as a single dad because certain things happen along the way. And does that make you also more driven to do this? Because
Oh, it absolutely does. And in order to promote transparency and accountability to Gina and her audience, I'm going to follow Gina's guides, leading me, but we did have a long, extensive conversation regarding proving, proving that you are a good father in spite of your past and in spite of the worst thoughts. I'll leave it at that. And if Gina leads me to say, then I'll go from there. But right now, yeah, I do feel that like men are like really judged a lot. People look at you if you're a single father and they think, oh, you can't do it because you're a man. And especially if you have a past or where you came from, rather than think, oh, you can't do it. What if they were to say, well, based on what you went through and all the pain you went through, would that not make you a very good father because you didn't want your son or daughter in that pain you did, as an example? So, yeah, like there is a lot to Gina's point. There's a lot to prove, not only to myself, but to authority figures, if I may say, in my life because of my past. And I wish to say that I'm in a forced situation of having to parent across generations after losing my wife to COVID and my second son who died in the womb at 8 months. And we've been in a tug of war, me and my mother-in-law, to get my son. I wanted to do it peacefully and amicably, but she has weaponized my caste and neurodiversity against me to the point where I have to, and I'll be honest, my business really took a hit. I said to Gina before being on the call, um, I started out very hot. I had a lot of fans and people on Facebook. They only show their shiny outsides. They don't show the depth and the struggles, the eternal, like their eternal insides to the world. Now I understand that because I wanted to be different. I wanted to showcase, okay, you showcase the best stuff, but what about the bad? What about the ugly? And now I understand why they came back on it, because I lost many fans resulting from my current situation, which is why I started a YouTube channel to document absolutely everything between my son and myself and uncovering the lies from the authorities, keeping them accountable with the power of voice recordings, videos, you name it. I have it on my device. So I feel that without going on and on, that like my case about sounding cocky is especially prevalent towards finding a way for your child. You know, I wish to share with your audience that the reason why the authorities are in my life is because of where I came from. Mental health. If I made you this, Junie. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I appreciate. Thank you. But mental health, it wasn't understood back in the day, right? It took a worldwide pandemic in order for mental health to be understood, because you cannot feel without experience or experiencing. Um, what does this mean? Well, what I mean by this is I was given away in care by my mum and father, grew up in the care system for 18. Now, after I left care, people knew I was different, but it wasn't understood. Now there's these titles. Now people put a title on things. Neurodiversity is called, right? Now, or neurotypicals when you're normal or have anything if you condition wise. So there's all these titles now. But back in the day, like nobody knew, but it was evident that I was different and it was evident that I was like vulnerable. So after I left care, they put me into like charity, homeless place because I was still a child until 21, technically. And then after that, I was under the supported accommodation system umbrella. And there, because the system throws you all together, I met so many, I don't want to sound disrespectful. It's not my intent. I'm pointing out no disrespect to heavy issues. What I'm saying is when you're a moderate issue with ADHD and autism, which I have, when you live with schizophrenia or borderline personality disorders or heroin addicts or, druggies or drug addicts or alcoholics, when you can't relate or identify with these people, you end up going a bit mad yourself, especially with the mental health, severe schizophrenia, and all these things. And I went off the rails. I did. Big past, big criminal history. Um, and my mother-in-law, since we've lost her daughter to COVID, we've been in a tug of war to get my son. I wanted to do it peacefully and amicably, as I say. She wanted to exclude the father from the son's life, full special guardianship. I recognise in my neurodiversity and passed against me, has got a lovely £800 carer's allowance. And I'm fighting to see my son now with legal firms all day today. I've been contacting legal firms. I'm told I've got a very good case, especially with the evidence I have proving that my nan abused my son. Whereas with her, it was merely a projection. Whilst recognizing my past and neurodiversity against me. And then the judge's report, when I stood trial last week in family court, there was no evidence against the father. So I guess what I'm saying is that, like, authority members, I don't hate them because they're just doing their job. Unfortunately, their job is to drive somebody who's an easy target into the ground. But that's their job. And it all ties into the political agendas that they run. It's corruption. It's not just me, it's many other fathers too, mothers too. I know female friends, mothers who are innocent.
And may I ask you one?
Sorry.
Just to keep the interview a bit concise. His story is the drive that you have to do what you do.
Yeah.
This is the foundation of your work. You wanna become you wanna have a healthy relationship with your son. You wanna make sure that has been raised well, and on the other hand, you wanna support and help parents who are going through similar situations with your support and your guidance because of all the things you already have learned. You wanna
I want to be a beacon of light to other people who are going through this. There's many other people who are going through this. And through the power of voice recordings, videos, I started a YouTube channel, and it's to raise awareness. And the authority, they don't like voice recorders. They hate them because it's the truth, right? And that's why I thought, well, why not make a story out of it? What me and my son have gone through and what my mother-in-law's done. I understand the reasons why. And for transparency, I strongly dislike my mother-in-law, but I love her and I respect her because when my wife was alive, she fell in love with me. They wanted a baby. I gave that to them. I got my first job in construction. Her mum let me live with her. But ever since her death, there's just 3 of us left in the family, and it's a big tug of war of who gets the child. And because she's an elderly lady and has got a clean past, and because of my situation where I've lived, I do not. This is why I'm having to undergo all these channels. Now, yes, I do want to be I want to help out other people who are going through similar situations with their child, who do have a past where their past shouldn't be a life sentence and whose record is clean. I haven't been charged in 10 years, but your past is always a life sentence. So the only way around it is to document relentlessly, with authenticity, purity, and truth. Because what that will do is that will back up your case. Even if you have to spend thousands to go to the high courts to show to a solicitor who is willing to go through what you put forth to them. But also, more importantly, it will show your child how hard you've battled for him. And with like voice recordings and video evidence, your child will know. And they'll know that you never gave up on them and all these things. So.
Yeah, and it's also you wanna help empower other parents
Yes.
through the situations, how can they fight, how can they do things that you would choose probably if you had to do it a second time not to do, or maybe just do things differently or whatever that you learn from it. So you have a lot of things that you learned along the way that you pass on to other people, and make it a little bit easier in a very difficult, a very harsh situation, right? That's actually where it comes down to. What?
That's absolutely correct. Like your mess, my mess, anybody's mess can become somebody else's message, right? And why I started a YouTube channel was because I Facebook's not really for me because I like to talk, and you probably know that. Like
I don't know.
I don't. No, you'll never guess, right? Well, I talk a lot, and in this like microwavable society where the attention span is 3 seconds, Facebook's not my platform. And I realized my son and his father's story. We have so much to tell. We need to be on YouTube. And I've only recently started doing YouTube, the last couple of months. And already we're at like 1,100 subscribers, which is the easy part. And now me and my virtual assistant are working on watch time. But the point is to raise, why I started it is to raise awareness, teaching other parents what, to do, how to do it with voice audios. And if nothing else, your child will know the truth by you documenting everything.
Thank you, Chris.
Now I know that you never gave up on them at all. Like people will look at everything I've done in my past. They will look at when you live with like they fail to understand. Like scratching at the surface. Yeah, I did a lot of bad things. But when you live with insanity under the supported accommodation system, you're gonna lose your brain, like mentally. You're gonna lash out. I'm sorry if you can't relate. Rather than scratching at the surface. And I think the authorities deep down, they know this, but their job is to just grind you down, grind you down, grind you down. They don't look at, I've been in the real world since 2017 after leaving the system. They don't look at, I've got my own beautiful home, bought cash outright. They don't look at, I've created a business. They don't look at, I found a way for my son and done more than my part of raising my son with so much love, playfulness, authenticity, sincerity, love, truth, everything. They don't look at that. They'll just pay. And I'm sure you can relate in a different way. I'm sure others can relate in a different way with their story, right? They don't look at the goods. They don't look at, they just look at what bad you've done without understanding the reasons, implications as to why. And that's what's wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's your message.
That's my message. I want to show and teach the world with the power of videos, voice recordings. Like my phone, I've so much so where I'm nearly out of memory. But like my phone has got so many voice audios of me with speaking to authority members. I can expose their lies, their tyrannical behavior, their attitudes. I can show many things. But the reason why I want to do this is to prepare people who may, if they currently gone through it or are about to go through it, by hearing my story and giving them some tools by watching me on YouTube and what I do, they can perhaps insulate and protect their own selves, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all this. Thank you for being open and vulnerable.
Thank you.
I'm going to wrap this up. I want that you leave your, I want to ask you if you leave your YouTube link in the comments so people can.
Absolutely. Of course.
And thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you want to connect with Chris, he will leave his links in the comment. And I want to thank everybody. Thank you for being here.
And can I just say one more thing, and I'll keep this brief. I know you're pressed with time in interviews. Respectfully, I want to say a big thank you to your audience for having me and you as the host. I thank each and every one of you for your patience and allowing me to tell my story. Maybe some of you can't relate at all. Maybe a lot of you can in different ways, maybe even in the same way. Nevertheless, I thank you for your patience and your tolerance for allowing me to share my story. And I hope to connect. I spoke with Gina a lot before the meeting and we really connected as well. And I really want to, if I am able to be valuable to your group and interact with people and, share things and stuff, if I may as well. So want to say much love, much respect, and thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Chris. We speak soon.
And you do.
Okay. Bye-bye.